Mitochondria, structure and function. Objective: to learn about the structure and functions of mitochondria. Mitochondria are located in the cytoplasm of cells and are among the largest cell organelles within a cell. They are called powerhouses of cells because they convert energy into forms that are usable by the cell. Mitochondria vary in shape from almost spherical to elongated ovals. Mitochondria are bound by two membranes. Each membrane is a phospholipid bilayer with embedded proteins. The outer membrane is smooth, while the inner membrane has many inward folds called cristae. The folds increase the surface area and are the working surfaces for mitochondrial reactions. The inner membrane is selectively permeable to certain molecules, such as pyruvic acid and adenosine triphosphate (ATP). On the cristae, sugar is combined with oxygen to produce ATP, the primary energy source for the cell. The space surrounding the cristae is a matrix filled with dense solution containing enzymes, coenzymes, water, and other molecules involved in cellular respiration. Mitochondria are the sites of cellular respiration, which finally generates fuel for the cell's activities. Mitochondria are also involved in other cell processes, such as cell division and growth, as well as cell death. Mitochondria are semi-autonomous. They are partially dependent on the cell to replicate and grow. They have their own DNA, ribosomes, and can make their own proteins. Summary: mitochondria are the powerhouses of cells. Mitochondria are involved in the production of energy, cell division, and growth.
Now, plant cells don't have lysosomes. So, which organelle acts as the garbage disposal system in the plants? Well, the plants have sac-like part to dispose waste, and those are vacuoles. Vacuoles are not actually empty. Vacuoles are storage sacs for solid and liquid contents. In plant cells, vacuoles are full of cell sap and provide turgidity and rigidity to the plant cells. Not just this, vacuoles are also used for storing important substances like amino acid, sugar, various organic acids, etc. In single-celled organisms such as amoeba, the food vacuole contains food items that amoeba has consumed. In some unicellular organisms, specialized vacuoles also play an important role in expelling excess water or some waste from the cell. Talking about the size of vacuoles, in animals, the vacuoles are very small, but plant cells have very large vacuoles. In some plants, vacuoles occupy 50 to 90% of space, and it is often the largest organelle in the cell. So that was all about vacuoles. Bye-bye.
The life cycle of two organisms. One picture depicts the life cycle of a butterfly, while the other shows the development stages of a human. Have you ever wondered how does this little caterpillar turn into a butterfly? Or even, how does such a small baby turn into an adult? Butterflies go through some spectacular life cycle transformations, that is, from a lowly worm into a glorious creature that floats on the breeze. On similar lines, humans also follow a developmental pattern. They go through a series of developmental stages from the time of birth to the time they mature into an adult. And these transformations are mainly possible all thanks to the process of cell cycle and cell division. We all know that each multicellular organism begins life in the form of a single cell. So how does a single cell get transformed into a large organism? To comprehend this, let's understand the concept of a cell cycle and cell division. Let's begin with their definitions. Cell cycle is a series of well-orchestrated steps including cell growth, duplication of genetic material, and cell division, usually resulting in two identical cells. In other words, a cell passes through various steps in order to grow, copy its DNA, and finally split into either 2 or 4 new cells. This is cell cycle. And what exactly is cell division? As the name suggests, cell division is the process in which a single parent cell divides into either 2 identical cells or 4 cells, each with half the number of chromosomes. So can we say that the process of cell division is a part of the cell cycle? That's right. That's how it is. Now tell me one thing. Do all the cells divide in the same way? Just think about it. The answer is a definite no, right? Every cell in our body has a different tendency to grow and divide. To be precise, some cells divide throughout their lifetime, while others do not divide once formed. For example, our skin cells have a high turnover rate due to constant wear and tear and divide very frequently. On the other hand, our nerve cells do not divide once formed. Now getting back to the cell cycle, as the name suggests, the process occurs in phases or stages, the series of steps that repeat in cyclic manner. But for our convenience, we majorly divide a cell cycle into 2 phases. The first phase is called the interphase, and the next is the M phase, which represents either mitotic or meiotic phase. Let's have a quick look at these phases. The interphase prepares the cell for cell division, hence it's also called the preparatory phase. In this phase, the cell grows and makes a copy of its genetic material, the DNA to be precise. On the other hand, the M phase is the dividing phase of the cell cycle. It carries out the task of actual cell division. After going through a series of steps, the cell first divides the nucleus into 2 sets, followed by the division of the cytoplasm. This gives rise to 2 identical daughter cells. And this process of cell division is called mitosis. Similarly, instead of once, a parent cell divides twice to give 4 daughter cells, each with half the amount of genetic material compared to the parent cells. This type of division is called meiosis, the one useful in the production of gametes. Now tell me one thing, will both the phases, the interphase and the M phase, have the same time duration? Or will one phase last longer than the other? If yes, then which phase will need more time? Just think about it. Imagine we were to prepare a meal. The actual time required to cook the food is usually less compared to the time we take for preparations. That is, right from getting things from the store to keeping things ready for cooking, we consume a lot of time pre-cooking. The cell isn't an exception. For the most crucial and challenging tasks, like division of nucleus followed by cytoplasm, the cell takes a lot of time to prepare for these steps rather than the actual divisions. The interphase lasts much longer compared to the M phase. You will be astonished to know that the interphase occupies more than 90% of the total time required for one cycle. And only the remaining less than 10% of the time is needed for the M phase to get the new cells formed. So all the important functions like growth, duplication of genetic material, synthesis of newer compounds and organelles, all of these are carried out in the interphase. It is believed that the cells take up approximately 24 hours to complete one cycle. However, this duration can vary from organism to organism and from one cell type to the other. Later, at the end of the cycle, the new cells produced can start the exact same process all over again. That's the reason why it's called a cycle, as it does not follow a linear pathway. Well, this was just an overview of the 2 major phases of a cell cycle. To know in detail about each phase and the substages in each phase, do watch our upcoming videos.